Hi, so I have a recording here I did a couple months ago I've been working with, and I think I got something that's worth listening to. So when I did this, it was late outside or late at night outside. I'll play a moment for you. It doesn't sound like there's anything there. Have a quick listen. And I found that if I take this recording and actually process it two different ways and merge it back together, it sounds a whole lot better. So let me play for you what it sounded like after I did that. I'm going to play it on the slow control, so it's going to be playing at 50% speed. Here we go. Just to give you an idea what speed and pitch we're listening to, here's my voice at, we'll play it at normal speed really quick.
This unit is equipped with a new patent pending cool.
Okay, now I'm just going to click redo and put it back to the slow controls, and this is what it sounds like after I processed. So doing that to my voice there is the exact same thing that I did with this here. So they're in a place where you don't normally hear them. Okay, so let me explain what I did. It's basically centering the cursor before I do any steps and then doing the same amount opposite. So I start with two files, okay? And the first one I'll process in the forward position. The second one I'll actually start, if I click undo, there's the forward position, but the first thing I do is center the cursor and reverse it. And when I talk about centering the cursor, here, let me just copy this off really quick so we can look at it. So here's the original recording in the forward position. The time indicator here, it really gets more sophisticated than what you're seeing right at the top level there. What you're looking at is an overall length of a file where it takes the time in seconds times the sample rate to come up with a numeric value there. So if I come back here and I scroll all the way to the end and I drill down on this, I get a number here, all right, and it's 3605760. If I go over to my spreadsheet, that tells me that's the overall length. What I want to do is put the cursor at the half point, and by doing so and processing it, what I'll do first, and that's what I did first, is I put it, I'll just click redo, undo once. Alright, it took a while to figure out. Actually, I had to put a little piece of tape on my monitor so I know kind of where it's at to put this cursor. The rest of it is I set up approximate seconds on the half point so that I can find it a little quicker. So you put the cursor there, and then the next step is I'll make a speed change or a pitch change. And in the forward position, if I look at the profile, and I didn't do that here, I didn't show you, but let's just look at it really quick. Here's the profile of the recording. Alright, so what we're going to do is when we make a pitch change, it's going to shift this whole profile to the right. Alright, so I'll click redo once. And you see how it pushed everything to the right, just kind of expanded it out. And what we're trying to do is draw this stuff over enough that you can make it out. In that low frequency, you can't hear it. So what I do after I did that is made that pitch change, and I did it at 17 semitones. Don't do this one down here. The whole semitones seem to work better, alright? And then what I did is reverse the file and did it again. So let me just click redo. And you can see I flipped the file around. It's hard to see, I'll just undo it really quick. Yeah, it takes a while to keep track of it when you're doing it yourself. And then I changed the pitch again. So 17 semitones in the forward position, reverse it 17. And what you have to do is you have to recenter the cursor. So after I did it the first time, and when we looked at it, the overall length was something different than this. So now I've got 36,01600, and I had to enter that in, find the halfway point. So from this value to here, it's changed. So in order to spin it around, I had to recenter it. Let me just click undo. So there we are, starting point, first pitch change, had to recenter it, reverse the file, second pitch change, and the file length changes again. So if I go all the way to the end and I look at it, now we're at 3597441. Alright, and there I popped it in again, found the halfway point, and once you get to that, what we want to do, I'm just going to click undo really quick so it'll put the cursor back in there. The next thing is the overall file length was 1:21, and what we wanted to do was slow it down. So I want to make a speed pitch change at that same time, so it's going to draw back. So if we look at the profile here really quick, now you can see that it's way over. It doesn't sound too awful bad here. You can hear speech, but you can't really make it out. To draw it back, click undo. What I did was slowed it down by 3 semitones. So you can make a speed pitch change, and it'll actually shift everything from the right to the left a little bit. So what I do is I put in -3 here, alright, and when I did, it'll change this from 1:21 to 1:37. And so everything's shifted back to the left, and then you reverse the file and you do it one more time at -3. So it's plus 17 semitones on the front, plus 17 in the reverse, -3 in the forward, -3 in the reverse. Alright, and then you do the exact opposite with the other file. So you start it in reverse, so it's 17 in reverse on the plus side semitones and change in pitch, and that and then just go, flip it back around, do the other 17. I'm a little tired here, I think. But anyway, so the first 2 are pitch changes only. The next 2 are speed and pitch changes, and it'll lengthen out the file. So I'll click redo one more time, and after that second one, speed and pitch change, it took it out to almost 2 minutes, 1:55. Alright, so I actually, and then again, every time you change either pitch or speed and pitch, it changes the overall length. So I wrote here the first pitch change, what the overall file length was, and then when I started, and the second one, and then the first speed pitch, second speed pitch, And then at the halfway point at the end, what I do is take the two files. Alright, and I'll just okay, so this is where I was, where I had the first, or the two files. I had to spin it back around. One's processed in reverse, this one's processed in the forward, and then you just paste mix the two together. I'll just copy this off over here. I'll take the first one, and I recentered the cursor to do this. So before you do every one of those steps, I've showed this before, do this options on this audio tab, this editing effects, just put 2 periods in there, and Control V, paste this together 100%. And the last step that I did, so now it's mixed right here, the last step that I did, you can see the profile, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slant this up and lift it up. And the way I did it was using the equalizer, and starting at 15 hertz in 15 hertz intervals, I lifted it up. So I went 19, 19, 19, 18, 15, 11, 7, 7, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And it just lifted, elevated the wave a little bit, but it put that profile on there a little taller. So after doing that, go back here. I gotta recenter it. Great. So I just copied off a new one. That way I don't have to find it. It took like 45 minutes to process those two. Finding that exact center point and then doing that. If you don't, it just doesn't sound as good. Now you want to find the center point to do this last step. And all I have to do is I have that in the equalizer already. Bring up a keyboard shortcut that'll bring that up and do the apply. And then you're ready to listen. Just make sure your controls are on slow. So think about this. I changed the pitch a lot, and we're playing it at, oh, I don't know, we slowed it down to almost 25% speed. So here we go. I'll keep messing with this and see if I can't clear it up even more. The less you do with the file, the more clear it will be. So just find the center point on that and use even semitones. I'll keep testing, but this is what I wanted to see what it sounds like after it gets up to YouTube. Try it on one of your own. Thanks for listening.